Hi FlossTube, wanted to stop in with a quick update here. MJ Stitchy Memories. I have not done anything since the winter Flossmas videos, and I do apologize for that. I've had a lot of things going on, and at some point I will do a January to June partial whip parade, perhaps. Didn't know this was going to happen. I thought I was breathing better today. Pardon me. But today I am having a lot of stitching memories coming up. So I thought instead of trying to type them out to various messaging groups, I just figured I would go ahead and go over it today. One of it is sparked by what's on TV, and well, I think that's where it's sparked from. But I'm totally missing Terry today. She was a great friend for many reasons. One, she was kind of the first person in Texas to really befriend me and not say, I'm not a Texan, you're outside the clique, all of these things. Everyone would be real nice, but they wouldn't really be friends. So she and I, we met kind of in a strange way. I was pet sitting for a company, and I was one of 3 pet sitters for her dogs. She traveled a lot with work, and she could always tell. We would leave notes and sign our names, and she could always tell when certain pet sitters, her dogs really did well with them, and others, they, she came back and they would be different. So I was in between pet sits one day, and I was walking down a shopping center and saw that there was a little embroidery cross-stitch quilt shop. So I went in there. It was called Threads That Bind, and it has since closed. But there were some ladies sitting at the back table, and they were stitching, and she was one of them. And I had on my company shirt, and she said, hey, lady, pet lady. And so I turned around, and she says, hey, do you happen to know this person? I'm like, well, that's me. She said, oh my, we got to start talking, and she told me that her dogs were always like happiest when I sat for them than they were when others sat for them. And so they invited me to sit and stitch, and I bought a little kit there, which I'm hoping I'll find next week when I get to go, 2 weeks from now when I get to go to the storage unit. Hopefully I'll find it in there. But anyway, I sat down and started stitching with them, and she and I exchanged, personal phone numbers, and we started stitching on Thursday nights. The shop would have a stitch in from like 6 to 9. And then we would go to her house because she and I lived about 4 miles apart. So we drive straight to her house and, continue with some snack things. And we put on a movie, and we'd stitch for about 2 hours. And then I'd go home and she'd go to bed. So we did this like every Thursday for like 2.5 years. The stitch shop also had once a month, they had a stitch marathon, or I don't know what they technically called it, but it was like a lock-in. So when the shop closed at noon, it went, Sonata, it went from noon till either 10 or midnight. And so they did that once a month. You pay some money, and the shop stays open so that you can shop, but also you can stitch. And we would bring in food, do potluck or order in. Sometimes the shop would provide some foods. But it was just a really fun way. And most of the sonatas I missed because I worked a lot of the Saturdays because I was pet sitter. But I did end up going to one with her, and she had some health issues, and I was healthier than her at the time. So I would, help unload her car, load her car, help her shop for things, just, you know, having fun. She would always bring a cake, even though she was type 1 diabetic and couldn't eat it. But she loved making cakes, and so she would always bring a cake to the potluck, which I adored. We developed a really close friendship. As her health started deteriorating, I was the one who decorated her house for the holidays, and she always put up 2 really big trees, and there was a lot of outside stuff, and we just, until she found her high school sweetheart, or yeah, I guess he would be high school. He wasn't in her school, they were neighbors. Her childhood sweetheart. This is what we did. And so on the Saturdays, we would do a marathon of all the Jaws movies, Twister, Tombstone, all the kind of the DVDs that you've seen a million times, everything that's going to happen, but you love them and you can never get sick of them. So sometimes her grandson would come over, and he was real cute, and we were talking, and everybody's like, well, is Jaws a boy or a girl? And he goes, well, Jaws is a girl. And we're like, well, how do you know Jaws is a girl? He says, well, because girls are revengeful, and Jaws is revengeful. So Jaws is a girl. Just as plain as it was factual, written down. I just love it. Well, today is the 50th anniversary of Jaws, at least according to AMC TV channel. And so they've been running off and on various episodes. They do 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3, 3 Revenge, and then 1, 2, 3. It's kind of like how they're doing it. And I've had it on off and on today. But I thought I would be able to get a lot of stitching done, but I just had other things happening today. But it just brought back all those memories of watching Jaws with her and stitching. And so I'm sitting here tonight, and I'm stitching on 2 projects. And I just was thinking of her, wishing I had a Jaws project, and wishing I had a memorial piece for her. She passed shortly after COVID. But she did get back together with her childhood sweetheart, got married, and had a few years of that before she got sick. So I'm just thankful that after having a very hard life, she had a very wonderful ending before COVID. But I miss her all the time, and sometimes it's hard to stitch because I start thinking about her and then I can't stitch. But I'm going to show just what I'm working on. I don't have the cover photo for this because it got separated. But this is a snowman trivet. So it's designed to be put into a trivet form. And it's from Craftways. And it was a kit I was given last year at another stitch-in where I met some new people. So I'll talk more about that later, but anyway, so this is the snowman. So this is the umbrellas on the bottom. Umbrellas go all the way around, and then this is the snowman's start of his jacket here. So this is my snowman with umbrellas, and I'm having fun with it. It's a smaller count, and I probably have the wrong size needle, but I'm enjoying it. The next one that I'm working on tonight or trying to work on tonight, oops, if I can get the cover photo, if it'll quit running away from me. I'm about to run out of storage space here, so let me do this quick. This is from this pamphlet, Alma Lynn. I Love New England is the pamphlet, but I'm doing the folk art country portion. And I'm doing it on one of these pillow square looking type things.